You're welcome back to the program. To give us updates on the Blue Line Rail project by the Lagos State Government through LAMATA is the Director of Public Transport, LAMATA, Engineer Benga Dairu. You're welcome to the program, sir.
My pleasure.
Transportation, public transportation is said to be the linchpin of civilization, and without public transportation, the humankind will be immobile. As the Director of Public Transport, what do you have to say about that?
I think you're absolutely right. Transport is important in all parts of our human existence.
Okay.
You have to be able to grow your food and transport them to where people are going to finally eat them.
Okay.
You need to be able to go from your home to work and earn your daily living. If you're going to school, going to hospital, going to the market, all of those things require one form of transportation or the other. And I think it's important. I think it's important to acknowledge and note that beyond agriculture itself, I would say transportation or mobility and movement comes a very, very close second.
They actually go hand in hand because you also need to distribute
absolutely. Transportation is extremely essential and important.
Okay, so let's talk more about the civilization aspect, because I know that you have to talk about business, you have to talk about agriculture and the movement of people from the urban to the rural sector. So could you throw more light on it?
Well, I think over the centuries, even millennia, we have found that it's human nature for people to migrate from one place to the other.
Yeah.
Where there is prospects for improvements in the quality of life of any person, people will generally migrate in that direction. And that migration process itself is one that requires one form of transportation or the other. And because of the diversity of people across the world, even in our country, it brings all sorts of people together. It increases our social dimension, so to speak. A city like Lagos, for example, where we can regard as a nexus of all Nigerians, it's a place where people have to move around, socialize with one another, interact with one another, and the way to do that, beyond the means of telephones and so on, is also by moving from one place to the other. And that's why transportation is critical and important to human development and in this civilization. Okay.
The Blue Line Rail project started with the administration of Mr. Babatunde Rajifashola, SAN. How important is the construction of the Blue Line Rail project to public transportation in Lagos State?
It's extremely important. His Excellency, when he came into office, certainly recognized transportation as very important, as we've been discussing. Yeah. And he recognized also that the way to tackle the major transport issues we have in Lagos is by promoting and developing public transportation. Exactly. The idea that we could begin to expand our roads and build a lot more roads without paying attention to public transportation he's found has not been tenable. As a result, he has put a lot of effort, resources and investment in promoting public transportation in general, and indeed the rail project in particular. A metro railway in a city like Lagos is one that is very necessary. You may recall that in the 80s there was a plan to put a metro in Lagos at that time. That did not happen. And since then the population of Lagos has grown so much. And with the population growth has been the increase in movement. And one of the most efficient ways of moving people around a city the side of Lagos, with the population of up to 18 million people that we have, is by metro rail transport. And that is what His Excellency has invested in, which is manifested itself in the Blue Line.
Okay, 4 of the stations out of 11 covering 7 kilometers have been done. And can you describe the level of work that has been achieved?
Well, all 4 stations are practically completed. And I presume you refer to the ones at Mile 2, at Alaba, Orile, and indeed here at National Theatre. Okay. They're all at advanced stages of completion. But the stations themselves will not move people from one place to the other. Exactly. So we need to complete the other bits of infrastructure so that we can start operations as soon as possible.
What's the level of work? This is the National Theatre station. What's the level of work achieved in percentage?
Well, here we reckon we are 90 to 95% complete here at National Theatre. Okay. There are finishing touches to put in place. Lifts have to be, installed. Okay. And there are other bits of power supply issues that need to be provided for here. Beyond those, the civil works are more or less completed.
Okay, we understand that this project has 3 types of train stations. Could you educate our viewers on that?
Yes, there are 3 types of stations. There's a single course station or concourse station, which is just one building. There is a station that has 2 concourses, basically to reflect the fact that we expect a lot more people using that station. Okay. And there is this station here at the National Theatre, which is an elevated station, which is completely different from what you would find at either Mile 2 or Alaba or Orile.
Okay, so can we take a walk?
Sure.
All right.
Eko Akete, Lagos, my home. With LAMATA, Lagos is changing for the best. BRT lanes, modern rail line.
Okay, so Engineer Dari, we're here, and could you explain to us how this tracks connects down to Marina?
Yes, to our left here, the track is advancing from Orile Gomo area, from Mile 2 area. As you know, we're at National Theatre Station.
Yeah.
Then it runs through the station here, and to our right behind you, it heads towards Ijora, from where it connects to the banks of the lagoon near Eko Bridge. It runs a bit parallel to Eko Bridge and then descends into Marina. And at Marina again, it goes on towards the viaduct of Marina, and then snakes back out again onto our plant station also at CMS in Marina. Okay. You probably will need a diagram of a plan to understand or appreciate what I've described precisely.
Then the electrical multiple units, the EMU trains, are planned for use on this project.
Absolutely.
But two things come to fore: electricity to power the system and security. How does the government plan to attack this or achieve this?
Well, as far as power supply is concerned, I think the prudent thing for us to do, which the government is doing, is to prepare a dedicated power plant for this project. Okay. And that will have enough capacity to operate and run the project from start to finish. Okay. Because as you know, relying on the public grid will be extremely risky for us. And steps are being taken.
To know.
Steps are being taken to ensure we do have that dedicated power plant. As far as security is concerned, I think security is an issue that affects the whole of the state, and not just this project on its own. I think we are mindful of the fact that the state government has devoted a lot of resources to ensuring that the state is secure. And in the same spirit, particular emphasis is placed on this particular project. So it's our own intention to have, or the state's intention, to have a dedicated security team that will look after the affairs of the station. Okay. We will monitor those who are entering into it and those who are exiting from it. We are providing fences along the corridors where there's obvious interaction with members of the public to prevent people from getting into the system. It's a closed system, which means we need to monitor and ensure that those who enter into it have the right authority and permission to do so. Okay,
then I'm sure Lagosians want to know, when are we going to have the first ride on this Blue Line Road project?
Well, the first train that we intend to use to test the system, because we need to test the system to make sure that it will work and it's safe, has been ordered already. And that will be here in Lagos in the next few months. Okay. We expect to complete infrastructure between Mile 2 and Marina by the end of next year, all things being equal. And at that point in time, we'll have the first set of trains, or passenger carrying trains, in operation. All things being equal. All things being equal.
Okay, let's talk about the movement to Marina. I'm sure you must have encountered a whole lot of challenges doing this. What are the challenges, the specific challenges you've encountered?
Well, the challenges we have faced is a typical type of challenge you will face when you are building a project of this size in an urban environment, a densely populated environment like ours is here in Lagos. There are several right-of-way issues that we have encountered along the way. Okay. So we're having to negotiate with various people to allow us to construct and implement our project. Okay. We're having to resettle people where necessary, and compensation is being paid. You mentioned the issue of power supply, because even in the construction process, power supply is a major issue. Sure. And clearly those who are involved in the construction are having to make alternative arrangements. Having skilled workers to actually work on this project of this size is also a bit of a challenge. But we have been at it now for quite a while, so the contractors have engaged a lot of people who have been trained and skilled up to be able to support this project, but it hasn't been easy. You saw the traffic challenges we faced this particular morning. Yeah. So it's difficult to move materials from one place to the other in our city. That's also another challenge, but hopefully when this project is now implemented, that will ease up a little bit. And that gives you a flavor of some of the issues we faced. Okay,
I'll take you on from ease up, because we're going to talk about how this project is going to enhance the lifestyles of Lagosians and even the economy of the state generally.
Well, I mean, this project is going to be will have a significant impact on the quality of life of Lagosians, particularly those who live along the Lagos-Badagry Expressway axis. Because they will find that traveling between a place like First Stack or Trade Fair to Lagos Island will take them no more than half an hour, 20 minutes.
Exactly.
In comparison to a couple of hours or 3 hours they spend today. So that's a significant factor, we think. And transportation has a multiplier effect as far as the economy is concerned, because when people can get to their destinations early enough, it frees them with time for them to utilize that time in doing other things.
Exactly.
So their leisure time increases, the cost of transportation goes down, which means they have a bit more in their pocket to spend on other things as well. So it tends to have this effect of buoying up demand for services and for goods in an economy. And we think that will happen also with the implementation of this particular project.
Okay.
And also, as I'm sure you know, it has employed so many people during this construction phase. And when operation starts, a lot of employment will also be in place there. A lot of economic activity will develop around this project. Houses will spring up, new businesses will spring up, trading will increase. I think the future, I would say, is positive and bright.
Yeah, okay. For me, one of the things you've said now that I really think resonates with me is the fact that it's going to ease up traffic and stress.
Yeah.
Because coming to this place, man, it was
tough,
quite
tough
stressful. So
yeah.
I can't wait to have that, and I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Engineer Dairo.
My pleasure.
It's been Engineer Gbenga Dairo, Director of Public Transport, LAMATA, giving us updates on the Blue Line Rail project.